We good? We good? All right, call the meeting in order. If you're able to stand, please, for the pledge of allegiance.
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and justice for all.
Roll call, Mrs. Anderson,
Here.
Mr. Yoho,
Here.
Mr. Anthony, Mr. Hot. Motion to dispense with the readings of the April 2024 minutes to accept them as presented. In the records of proceeding, a copy of the minutes and approved in final form can be requested from the fiscal office.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Yoho,
Yes.
Mr. Anthony, yes. Fund balances for the month ending March 31st, 2024 were presented.
Motion.
Mrs. Anderson,
Yes.
Mr. Yoho,
Yes.
Mr. Anthony. Communications, Board of Trustees would like to thank the LeBray High School varsity football team for their help at the Johnson Community Center this past Saturday, May 25th. It was, I believe, what day, probably about 25, 27 of them. And their coaches, this is the third year in a row they did this for us down there. They worked very hard down there, and anybody who's been in the community center since Saturday can see everything that they did, trimming bushes, putting down tons of mulch, stones, everything else. Coach Elliott and his staff there, and also the kids should definitely be, acknowledged for the hard work that they did down there. And also communications on there, we got a thing concerning the first phase of the Meadowbrook Sanitary Sewer Project. Basically, they're gonna have their second public hearing for submitting the application, and it is scheduled for Tuesday, June 18th at 7 p.m. at Johnson Community Center in Gilmer Road. Again, Tuesday, June 18th at 7 p.m. at the Johnson Community Center. Okay. Yes,
I do have something. I have information here, and this has to do with the dam. And it's the storyline is actually in the paper about a dam that was taken out down by New Philadelphia and things that happened there. If anybody doesn't know about this and wants a copy of this, you come up after the meeting. I had a conversation with Trumbull County Engineer Randy Smith today. He's very concerned about what may happen because the same firms that the problem that they had by New Philadelphia are involved with removing our dam. So if you have any questions, you can come up after and have copies of this story.
Okay, go into departmental head report, Police Chief Benjamin Harrell.
Report for the month of April, police department handled 429 calls for service out of 429 calls for service. We had 14 incident reports, 4 arrests, 4 warrants, 5 crash reports, 5 towed vehicles, 6 citations. Also, thanks trustees for letting me get the 2018 police vehicle. We bought a used one, 66,000 miles on it for $17,500. All we had to do was put a sticker on it, wire up the lights. It came with the lights. This would normally have cost the taxpayer 60 grand. 725. So.
Okay, Fire Chief Joseph Natale is not here. He did submit a report. And so I'll read it for May 28, 2024. Total calls for April is 101, EMS calls 66, fire 2, MDC 7, vehicle fire 2, brush fire 0, burning complaints 3, service call 17, fire alarm drop 4, mutual aid received 11, mutual aid given 6, and TCI 3. Filled out the TCI is 38,800. Major repairs of equipment from January to March 2024 is 4,426.69. EMS backup payout in January to April 2024, $735. So we have collected an EMS building and coroner med account from January 1st to April 30th, 2024, in the total of $53,785.70. Engine 47 is now out of service. And according to our fire chief, we had 94% coverage of shifts for April of 2024. We go down to superintendent vacation.
Our gun deals, everything, we pretty much tried to sell, pretty much most of it didn't sell, most of it got picked up. You have noticed downtown Lewisburg, we tore down the stadium, picked up all the scrap. The stadium's down, we just got to put grindings down where the stadium was. Ed said we worked with the kids Saturday, that was pretty good, nice good day. Did spring cleanup on Monday and Tuesday for senior pickup. We did 16 loads to the dump for 2 days. A lot of hauling to the dump those 2 days. We started roadside mowing. We put the flags up downtown Lewisburg. All the trees got cleared at the cemetery in the back. It's all cleaned up. People were concerned about the gun range out back. So during spring cleanup, we built the mound up higher, made it more secure, so it's taller. I want to thank Gary Tree Service because we had a flag that was hanging stuck at the cemetery. We couldn't get to it. We don't have any equipment to get up there to it. So he came out one day early in the morning for me and we restrung it and put a new flag up out there.
David, zoning inspector Tyler Wilson.
For the month of May, we've issued 4 permits. 7 properties have been added to the mowing list. So that's been piling up. A lot of properties are not seen to be mowed. I've been going to those in person as well as sending phone calls if I can get their number, but sending letters out. 8 physical follow-ups this month. 3 warning letters were sent. 36 calls returned, and the new zoning book has been completed and issued with the new solar and wind text amendments, and we'll probably be doing an update on the language of the trash amendments through the planning commission month or 2. So that's it for zoning.
Okay, go right into public participation, and we'll be to my left here. Again, to my left here, we'll start from front to back. Please stand up, state your name, address, and whatever you're concerned with.
Sue Hardman, 407 Albina Street, Lewisburg. I'm here about the cemetery. It's not good. David King went out a couple of years ago and did a lot of work. It was Memorial Day, and nice everybody took care of the community center. Nice everybody dug out back behind the cemetery. Mother's Day, my brother called me and said, "Can you come down here with, rag and clean the stones off?" But because grass has to be grown up against the stones, we had to use brushes. Memorial Day came. Can't tell me it was too wet because I was down on the ground and my knees were not wet one bit. It's a mess. We had people down there that said to me from our community that said, "Well, Warren Township has no money." And I'm like, no, they have money to do this. And I thought you guys hired a new sexton, but maybe I'm wrong. But you have people that are supposed to be taking care of that cemetery. I right now, between two of my stones, I have gravel between there all the way. And I'll be honest with you, when I left my house, my intent was to put a 12-inch strip across every lot that I own down there, so they're not throwing stones all over. I don't have one stone down there that I paid up to $5,000 for, because I made sure that they had quality stones that could be taken care of nicely. I saw some man, I came home and told my husband, almost 3 hours down there, the man came down there, and I was like, how stupid. He had a battery operated weed whacker he takes down there and does his entire grades with it because it's so far down there. Every year, it's getting worse. David was down there, what, 2 years ago, David? And stones that were like graves that had sunk in, he filled it in and stuff, and it's not being taken care of. It used to be, we had a shining cemetery down there. It's an embarrassment now.
It's the same guy that's been doing it for years. It's the same guy that's here. David, didn't you guys go down and help him?
David went down, well, after my sister was
We
gone.
worked for a whole week down there.
So,
When was it, David?
Last month, we worked a whole week.
A month ago. This is Memorial Day.
I can't be down there.
I get that,
It's
David.
my roads.
I get that. This is Memorial Day, and I get he can't be down there. Took a whole team to the community center before Memorial Day. Diana has no money. It's been all through the paper, they have no money. Go look at their cemetery. Go look at their cemetery and
I'm
ours.
talking, but it's the same gentleman that's been doing it for, probably at least 12, 13 years.
Rick Jones is gone. Yeah, I know he's in it that time frame.
Who?
Jones, Tammy Jones' husband. He had been down there.
The cemetery?
He would have been the sexton, but we have a groundskeeper for the cemetery.
Well, I don't know who was doing it, but you know how many years I've been coming to you and telling you about the mess of it, of the stone down there, and it's getting worse. They don't even like clean between it, so I have a between the two stones, which is within my rights because I own two. It's now gravel between both of those because I don't want to throw stuff all over the stones, but I also, they're not clean, they're not cutting between it. But when they came, they literally took, we had garden flags on all of our graves this year. Within our 12-inch diameter, they were all coordinated. They were not exactly the same, they were coordinated. They took them. After the April 15th date, there's nothing that says
He
you
didn't
can't.
pull those out. I had talked to him.
Well, they're not there, they were before. And nothing has ever been taken off our graves. Solar lights were taken off of my mom's grave that had been there. An angel one was taken off of her grave. We've never had anything touched there, ever.
We'll talk to him about it. Anybody else over here to the left?
Yes, my name is Troy Rhodes, excuse me, 539 Canfield. I am with Ohio Edison First Energy. I am the replacement for Lisa Patty as your external affairs representative. I just wanted to stop and introduce myself. For the last 6 months, it's been in a temporary position, but that's been made permanent now that I'm handling electronic. Excuse me. So, as you're well aware of this from Lisa's standpoint, I fall right in the line. Currently, I handle all of Mahoning County, Columbia County, Stark County, Carroll County, and anything south of Columbia County down there too. So any issues that the township may have as it relates to Ohio Edison First Energy, you know, some of the key areas, obviously, street lights, forestry, storm response, anything like that, I'm here to answer those questions, help you throw out whatever questions that you may have regarding that. If you have any tonight, I'd be more than happy to answer those. Not all of you, my business cards here. So at any point in time, please give me a call.
Go on up front, and then we exchange the ones that have, and then Lisa did a lot of good for us. So I'm sure you're gonna do the same.
I try.
And thank you very much for coming to our meetings.
Thanks. You're welcome.
Anybody else on there?
Bill Ball, 4095 Levitt Drive. I just want to thank Tyler for putting 4075 on the high grass list. The highest grass in the front yard is about 5 foot tall right now. In the last week, I've talked to Trumbull County Treasurer, the auditor, and the prosecutor. And it's a work in progress with what they're doing. But it'd be nice to see at least the front yard taken care of.
Yeah, that is on the list. I already talked to them that we have it on our schedule tonight. But here's the thing with that bill is, I don't know who's telling you what on that, but they dropped the ball on that. That house was ready to go and we were ready to get a hold of it to somebody, a couple people.
I was there at the auction.
Yeah.
They
you
went
know,
through.
And then later on, he gave $25 and they said that's a payment. I have actually that right in front of me. It's now $22,000 a little bit.
Correct.
I mean, it's ridiculous, so I
And there
mean,
was supposed to be a hearing 3 weeks ago, and I don't think they handled it properly. So now it's July 11th.
yes.
But he told me he's highly confident that it'll go through this time.
Let's hope, because I mean, it's been hogwash to be given all you guys on that area and us too. I'll be honest, I've called so many times and I'm like, how can you owe, at that time, it's 21,000 and pay $25, and he goes, well, you can make payments. So I guess none of us have to pay our taxes anymore. We're good, just pay $25. I mean, it's ridiculous. And that guy's,
The treasurer's office got tired of me going down there a little bit, and they explained to me that they go to the court system and the court system allows it. The treasurers can't do anything about it. Whether that's true or not, but that's what they
I
told me.
don't know. I'm sympathetic with your grief because I've went through the same thing. In fact, I actually just talked to him right before the holiday again.
Yeah, it's a shame.
But thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else here on the left? Yes, sir.
I'm Rob Massey. I live at 1036 Riverview Drive, Northwest. About 2 years ago, there's a culvert that goes from the park. You guys had the right of way to the river. I think Yoho, you was out there a couple years ago when they repaired it. All right, last year I brought in 8 yards of topsoil to put it to where ground started sinking again. Dave's been out of my house a couple times. I right now have a hole bigger than a basketball and at least 8 to 10 feet down in the ground. It's just washing everything out. My yard is just starting to sink all the way back up in through there again. That was just my main kind of concern into there because I'm bringing the dirt. Last time it was all washed out. I mean, as they dug, everything just caved in. We ended up with what, Dave, about 14 foot wide, 15 foot deep. Just from the river all the way up, and it seems like that it's just, the pipe is giving away more, it's got more holes into it. Because it was a galvanized pipe. They got up as far as they could with the equipment they had. But I'd just like to see if you guys can get something done before it does a lot of damage. Because it's only about 2.5, maybe 3 feet from my garage. And up towards the front where it was sinking in, it started cracking that sidewalk there. I'd just like to see if you guys can come out and look at it, see if you guys can't get it taken care of before there's a lot of damage done. And the only other little one I have is the parking lot right across the street. That light only works about 10% of the time. And the very last street light, maybe 5% of the time. So it's just getting really dark down there. I'm getting some cars coming in there midnight, so like that. So I just let the dog out. She barks. They end up just pulling up out of there. You know, if it's, most of the kids know me. So they really don't gripe with me over it. I just, one of the neighbors that like to try to keep it clean up on that end. I'm trying to send them over to Benny's yard. Across the park.
That's on the street.
That's why I put a big fence up. Yeah, I know, but no, that's honestly all I have. Dave was out the other day looking at it. Is I'm not even gonna put a garden in this year. It's just, I'm hoping the sooner you guys can get this taken care of, the better. Is, I mean, I got 2 benches over the holes. I'm actually afraid to just run my zero turn over. I'm afraid it's going to end up sinking down in there. And with all these heavy rains we've been getting, it's just, the hole's just getting bigger and bigger. So I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Anybody else on the left-hand side? Start with the Over here on my right, front to back. Good.
Mary Rulon, 615 Podet Drive in Leavittsburg. We live next door to 629 Podet Drive, known as the Portney House. It has been years since Mr. and Mrs. Portney have passed away. No taxes have been paid for years and years and years. We've gone through talking to the courthouse, how to get it up for sale. They say it's ready to go. Every time we go down and question them, when is it coming up for sale? They tell us, well, you know, COVID put us behind. That's fine, but the taxes keep adding up there. And we are an interested buyer in buying that property and tearing down that house. But we can't get the property. I noticed, I believe it was you guys boarded the front door and the front windows. I had called the police about, the non-emergency line a couple weeks ago about the back door. It had always been closed and all of a sudden it was open. We called and the policeman came and he looked. He went in the house, he identified himself, went in the house. And of course, there's nobody there but the wild animals that live in there now, the raccoons and whatever runs in the door. But when he left the door open. So there's still more raccoons and animals coming in and out. Is there any way that we can get this property, speed it up and put on the calendar to be auctioned off at a tax sale? People have told us if you know anybody of importance that can push it along, it would help. But we don't know anybody of importance. You guys are it. So is there any way that this property can be moved forward?
Mary, that's priority one for Trumbull County Land Bank to take down. We talked to Ashley Yohos. They're lined up all our properties. We submitted 18. And she said 629 Podet is, apparently you've made calls or someone's made calls there.
Everybody.
She said that is
Everywhere.
priority one. I've had the paperwork for 7 months. And I just talked to her 2 weeks ago and she said that they're gonna start that at the end of probably July or August, start taking now. I don't know if that's gonna be one of the first ones or what, but in Warren Township, we made that priority one.
Okay.
Thank you.
That property is still there. And even if they tear down the house, the property is
Well,
still
here's
there.
how that works. If land bank tears it down, it means they take over the property. And then what they will do is they will offer that property to anybody adjacent to that property.
Okay.
And then you have to deal with land bank, you don't deal with us.
Okay, because we were told we couldn't go through land back. We had to go through a tax sale.
All I know is I just talked to Ashley 2 weeks ago and I said, hey, I know the meeting's coming up. They're gonna say something about Podet. She goes, it's priority one. So,
Okay, so you talked to Ashley?
yes, Ashley,
Okay.
you have,
Okay.
okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else over?
I have a question
Daryl?
for lighting. 6th Street, Bill Parker,
Mhm.
705 Miller Street Southwest. I'd like to thank Tyler for jumping on those properties on Dover. You've been doing a great job helping us out. 6th Street, I've been asked on numerous occasions about getting lights on it. Now, do they have to be in a lighting district in order to get lights on, street lights on that road?
So the township would have to request a quote for a street light. And that's how we would provide that to the township. And then it would be up to the township on how they would pay for that, through an assessment or through a lighting district.
Okay, but if they're already in a lighting district,
Yeah, that'd be up to the township because Ohio Edison's responsibility is to the township.
right?
How the township collects money from the community is up to them. So again, the township requesting a street light for me, I can give them one all day long if that's what they want. Then
Okay,
it would be up to them to approve it for us to come out and install
yeah, because there's been close calls, what I've been told. You know, I don't know for sure because I don't live on that road, but I've been told that there's been close calls and they wanted to know if they could get streetlights on there. I haven't discussed it with our trustees about it, but we have had multiple people coming in talking about paying and being in a lighting district and paying taxes and not having lights. So with you standing up and presenting yourself.
Yeah, so, and again, I apologize, but, so any street light that Ohio Edison provides to a community, it's up to community leadership to request that and to approve for that light to be installed. It's then up to the community, i.e. the township or the city, to then determine how those lights will be paid for, either through a lighting district, an HOA, or through county assessment through the county auditor's office.
Okay.
So the fiscal officer would have to work with the township and with the county auditor to determine that if in fact an additional light would be added to it.
Okay, thank you.
That's not a lighting district right now down there, right?
I'm not sure.
Just to let you know, our lighting at one time was $4,000, and now it's a whopping $14,000. Put up one light, usually right around $6,000 to $7,000.
Well, see, I paid.
No, I understand. I'm just trying to say it would be
Yeah.
nice if we could get some kind of assistance because that's out there now. And see if maybe we can go that way with it. But our lighting district for a long time was under $5,000. Because our tax, we have not increased them for so long. Maybe that's an avenue we need to look at.
Okay, well, just,
No,
check it out.
It
for
is
me.
dark down in there. It
Yeah,
is
no.
really.
And then you have people walking with no, dark clothes on and no, safety clothes on, so, and that's the issue that these drivers have had, because even at my church, some of the people that live in that area, they said they've come close to hitting people because they had on dark clothing.
Right.
And they asked me.
Putting one light up might be a possibility, but going for a lighting district, that's a whole different thing.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Anybody else?
Sandra Rounds, 174 Ravel Court. I just wanted to say thank you to Tyler. We've had some improvement, and to David for making cleanup fun. It really wasn't. He made it fun. So thank you, Tyler. We are blessed to have him in our township and everything that he's doing. So that's it.
Anybody else? Okay, we'll go straight into new business. There is an addition on the first resolution. Resolution 01-0524, declare nuisance and abate properties with overgrown vegetation, weeds, and high grass. Be it resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby determines the owner's maintenance of vegetation, weeds, and high grass on quality properties a nuisance. You have 4010 Brookside. You have 3740 West Market Street. You have 1237 Dover Street. You have 1095 Dover Street. You have 1115 Dover Street. And you have 4075 Levitt Drive. Be it further resolved that the notice will be given to provide for abatement, control, or removal of such. It will be posted on all properties in accordance with ORC Section 505.87B. The failure to comply within 5 days will result in removal by the township. Costs expended by the township will be certified by the fiscal officer to the county auditor for placement as a lien on the property to collect it as other taxes and return to the general fund pursuant to ORC Section 505.87B. What it basically is, we started this last year. We post it up there, we give them 5 days to take care of their high grass. If they fail to do that, then we bring either our guys in or a company, and then they go and do the property, and then that property now gets to be put under taxes. So hopefully we can recoup some of that back in the past and everything that we started that last year. It's working out better. That's how that works.
Motion,
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Anderson,
yes.
Mr. Yoho,
Yes.
Mr. Anthony, yes. Resolution 02-0524, Board of Trustees determine it necessary to retain the services duly shut, and Carol Stowe from the zoning boards to complete and update zoning materials, including the book. They will be compensated accordingly.
Motion,
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Yo.
Yes.
Mr. Anderson. Resolution 03-0524, the Warren Township Board of Trustees, opposing Enbridge Energy, formerly known as Dominion, proposed 30% rate increase and request the Public Utilities Commission of Ohio to deny the company's request.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, Mr. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Yoho.
Yes.
Mr. Anthony, yes. And resolution 04-0524, to enter into agreement with the Trumbull County Engineers to hot mix paving of Caleb TH 400 Road. The estimate is $41,874.56, and it will be completed in 2024.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Yoho.
Yes.
Mr. Anthony. Board of Trustees, Resolution 05-0524, the Board of Trustees approves the transfer of $279.47 from the general fund to the Ohio Ambulance Transportation Program.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, Mrs. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Yo.
Yes.
Mr. Anthony. Nothing else on here. Need a motion to adjourn, please? Mrs. Anderson.
Yes.
Mr. Yo.
Yes.
Mr. Anthony. Yes.